China's official Xinhua news agency agreed with its counterpart in describing a friendly and constructive atmosphere, but in terms of what was actually talked about and agreed upon, it depicts a different picture. According to Beijing, the U.S. and China agreed to stop adding new tariffs, without mentioning it's only a temporary ceasefire. The report said the next step is to work to eliminate all tariffs. There's no mention of the 90-day negotiation period and what happens if the two parties don't reach an agreement within 3 months. Xinhua also said China will further open its markets and increase imports based on the needs of China's reforms and the Chinese market. The report didn't mention the immediate purchase of large amounts of U.S. agricultural goods. Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi's press briefing was strictly in line with the Xinhua news agency's report. In a response to mounting criticism from Chinese citizens that the media concealed important details of the Trump-Xi meeting, chief editor Hu Xijin of China's Global Times defended the Chinese government. He said it is normal for diplomats to highlight information that is beneficial to their country. He went on to say his media did not hide such information. The Global Times also criticized the Trump administration for highlighting Beijing's agreement to purchase $1.2 trillion of American goods, while failing to mention where the U.S. made concessions. It listed examples like the U.S. hasn't mentioned Made in China 2025 for a while. It also seemed to stop attacks on China's state-owned enterprises and related industrial policies.
The Global Times is in an awkward position. It still has to attack America, even if it wants to somewhat differ from Xinhua. It's likely this slight difference is also ordered by the regime. The real question is why the Chinese Communist Party feel the need to hide the details of this meeting at all. Here's my discussion with Chinese political strategist Chen Pokong.
In your opinion, why did the Chinese Communist regime hide part of the Trump-Xi meeting from its people?
The regime orchestrated this, as I had anticipated, simply because this is almost the last chance for it to warm up China-U.S. relations and end confrontation between them. This is also the last reprieve President Trump and the U.S. have granted him after Xi's repeated requests. So evidently, it was China that made substantial concessions to the U.S. You may call it caving in, admitting defeat, or a signal of sincerity. It was flagged as surrender in accounts of Russian and Indian media. That's why the Chinese Communist Party, who had been so assertive and high-profile, was reluctant to publicize the truth. We remember Xi's previous public remarks, claiming to fight to the end, a tooth for a tooth, and never back down a single step. He even swore to prevent Trump from taking advantage of China, like cutting off mutton from a grown sheep. So defiantly, so absolutely, despite such statements, Xi's huge concessions made him unable to face the Chinese people, which may provoke civilian criticism, political unrest, or a power crisis. As a result, Xi Jinping and the Chinese Communist regime concealed details of the talk.
Xi started the talk with a lengthy speech, offering great concessions, according to Navarro. Why did he do so? How is the Chinese Communist regime doing amid the trade war?
The Chinese regime repeatedly employed a delaying tactic. Soon after Trump took office, they staged a 100-day negotiation, which ended up in failure due to the CCP's delay. Later, Vice Premier Liu He came to the U.S. for another round of talks, but no good faith had been found on the part of the Chinese regime. Then, the U.S. laid aside the negotiations. China didn't ask the U.S. to resume the talks until its economy dropped to a dangerous point with the escalating trade war. However, Trump declared more than once that he wouldn't restart the negotiations so soon, saying that China was not ready to reach a deal. The U.S. didn't agree to launch this meeting until many promises, even from Xi himself, were made. So the spotlight of this talk was the fact that Xi spent 30 minutes elaborating his concessions to the U.S. team at the very start of the summit. This was done for two reasons. One, Xi almost lost his reputation for the U.S. part. Back in 2015, Xi made two promises to then American President Obama. One, the South China Sea would never become militarized, but China ate its words later. Two, China's cyber theft targeted at American businesses would be stopped, which turned out to be more alarming than ever. Therefore, Xi lost, or nearly lost, his credibility in the U.S. Further, the past 2 years' interactions with the Xi administration taught the U.S. counterpart that the barrier to Sino-U.S. talks or ties was no other than Xi himself. Both Mr. Kudlow, the director of the National Economic Council, and President Trump showed that Liu He and others consented to a deal, but finally Xi stood in the way. So this time, Xi Jinping himself had to stand out and air his own statements and commitments. Otherwise, this meeting would be impossible. Moreover, this posture unmistakably signaled that Xi has the authority of giving a final say. Only by doing so could Xi gain credibility from the U.S. again, the last chance for him. There are 3 reasons for his willingness to back down. First, China is the inflicting party, with the U.S. being the victim, thereby accounting for Xi's concessions. Secondly, compared with American democracy, Xi's domination in a party state like China paved his way to concessions, whose authority can stifle dissent, either from the CCP or from the Chinese society. Thirdly, China feels like it's economically breaking down since its economy has been going downward while the American economy is improving. If market transfers and manufacturing collapse occurs, China's whole economy will be shaken. As a result, Xi Jinping had to offer sweeping concessions.